Let's go. Okay. Can everyone see the stream? Like, all right. Okay. Cool. All right. Awesome. Okay. So, guys, is there what plugin would you guys like to like learn about first? Because we have a ton. We have like all the like the instrument ones. We have like the compressors. We have like the reverbs. Which one? Okay, awesome.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
All right. TSK, you're finna have to help me out because like
sure.
you're the sound design god. But I'll give what my basis on this is. Um okay. So we have these different sine waves over here. So you can the way I see it, you have three different. It's kind of like serum in a way. If you guys know serum, it's like you can have different waveforms contributing to one sound, basically. I mean, it's close enough. It's close enough to serum, you know. It's close enough. It's close enough, right? Um. So so here we have like these sine waves, square waves, you know, and we got all these. You can play, tweak with it. Um, TSK, can you explain
Yeah.
what like these are?
The phase is basically um that's too advanced, I think,
Too
for
advanced.
now.
Okay.
But
Well.
because that's like phasing stuff.
Okay.
But
Well. Yeah.
yeah. So the things on the left, they're basically what kind of a wave like you're gonna use.
Yeah.
So it's like a sine wave, square tooth, sawtooth. There's a triangle wave, and then there's noise, with and
It's like white
um
noise.
yeah,
It brings like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So and then yeah. So I think what the phase is, it just like it plays itself twice. So when you have a phaser, it's like playing double of the wave. It's like of the frequency. It's playing double. So what this does, I think, it offsets the double. So like if I were to show you like on drums, I'll pick a better sound. Okay, we're just gonna use this, right? Say if I were to, this is what essentially a phaser is. So we have two of these playing at the same time, but if I shift it, you can get like a different kind of like, it's like overlapping, but yeah, it's basically phasing is just overlapping, but like it's like a ton of these, just like slightly different.
No, 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 no. That's that that's what happens if you have like few things that are phasing.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you have like one thing that's like out of phase, then it won't like make a sound that's different. But if you have two things that are playing like out of phase by like a little bit, then they'll make like this phaser effect. Yeah, that's what phasers are
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. And that's what I think this knob over here, basically is. It it's just playing it twice, and you can kind of hear that it gets wider. The more you tweak with it, it's basically yeah, it's being offset. That's what the offs over here means. Detune. A detune is just you're like it's basically just tuning the wave like a bit lower than like how it is. If I were to put it into perspective of like yeah, kind of yeah, it kind of makes it more wider because but essentially it's just detuning the sound itself. Yeah. Yep. That Maze summed it up pretty good. It's just the stereo phase offset, and it offsets the phase between the left and the right. Um, these are the way I think of these. I don't really know what they are, but what I think it is like it's changing the semitones. So I'm only playing one note. You can see I'm only playing C, but it's changing the semitone, so you can be like more intricate on if you want a certain sound. Yeah. They
Mm.
like transpose it. It's yeah. That's high, and you can go up to 24. Yeah. Fine is kind of just the tweet like the fine like finer tuning. Like say you have a song that's in between two keys, and you want to like fine tune it. Say it's like it's not an exact semitone, so you like fine tune it to the step that it is. It's like the in between all of that. Um, this is just the pan. It just and panning is just left and right. How like close you want. If you wanted to listen to it on the left side, if you want to listen to it on the right side, you know. This is I think what this is just a volume. I think it is. It's the volume, right? Or is it? Yeah. Okay. It's just a volume. Does order matter? No, I don't think it should. TSK, does order matter? I don't think it really should.
What?
Like, does the order of which like waveform you want to put on here, does it matter? I don't really.
Mm, I don't know. It might, cause like there's actually no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like
I don't think. I
inherently.
think everything's all equally leveled, anyways. And there's a button here you can tweak it to how you want it to be leveled. I think that's what this
Yeah,
is.
but the thing is, there is no knob for like the first oscillator.
Oh yeah,
That's the only
yeah.
thing.
That's the one thing. Um, I think this is just the master effect of the phaser. This is the master effect of like these. I don't know. What do you know what this is, TSK? I have no clue. I
Um,
can't tell what this does.
that's like that's the it causes like the phase of the sound to randomize or something. Also, the
Oh
HQ button on the left is like if you press the HQ button, the sounds will sound better,
yeah, that's true.
more refined.
I don't know what this does, but I think it's just a ring mod. I think essentially what a ring mod is, it kind of just like squishes the waveform. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's just cool if you want that really like like scrunched sound. I reckon that's yeah. Um, then all these different stuff over here that you can do. So if you don't want your sound to like, so when you press like a note like this, you see I'm pressing it, and if you want to tweak it, like the envelope is basically how like you want the sound to sound. So if you want it to release like super late, so if I press it, just tap like really quickly, it's gonna like play for a really long time. And if this is like super low, I'm only tapping it and it like there's like a little release. This is what it is with no release. It's like almost instant. You can tweak it. It's kind of how you want like a pluck kind of to sound really.
It's
Um
basically like manipulating the volume of the
yeah.
oscillators.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yep. You can change the attack. The attack just is how it starts. So it kind of sounds like a side chain almost. It sounds like you're side chaining it almost. It's like it sweeps in. It sweeps in. You can hear that. This is with no attack, and then this is with the attack. Um. Yeah. This is just It's like a. Well, how can I explain it? It's like it's just basically changing. It's like an LFO. You can do like cool stuff like this. It's like basically just changing how like scrunched the waveform is, and like how like it's supposed to.
No, so basically what it does is like that's basically the like imagine like the volume going up and down like really quickly. That's what that basically does.
Yeah.
You can change the weight and the stuff.
Yeah, and you can do it with different waveforms. Yeah. This is just like filters, so a filter is just like I just see it as like another EQ kinda. Um but it's more targeting like a certain set frequency. So like imagine this is like the higher end and this is like the lower end. Okay, it's like if I were to show you on a plugin, let's say on the EQ, essentially what those two buttons are is just like this. It's just doing that. And then there's the higher one. It's basically just doing that. Um and then we have these. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what these do. Do you know? I have no.
Well,
Do you know what the?
those are for the filters you were showing
Oh
earlier.
yeah,
So that's basically modulating. I think it modulates the filters. Yeah, that's the resonance. So that's the resonance, and the mod Y is the cutoff.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the same thing. This is the pitch. This is the pitch one. So if you wanna like, same thing. You can tweak it how you want to. You can change how much you want it to pitch. Yeah, it's just all my like best advice for this is like when you're using like a oscillator like plugin and you're tweaking like these little sounds. It's just cool to like even if you don't know what you're doing, I think it's just really cool to just mess around with the sounds. You'll get stuff that you wouldn't expect to make and then you end up like using it. It's yeah, just twist knobs till you like it. That's basically my 2 cents on these plugins, like oscillator ones. You just tweak it. It looks confusing, but like you just mess around, and that's like the way you gotta do it. You just gotta yeah, just twist all these knobs till you like it, essentially. Um, all of this is just like really like these settings are all in like every plugin, but basically this is like okay, I'll just go over the levels adjustment. This is just pan. It's like a bigger one of the top. You see like these ones I'm hovering over kinda. It's basically just another one of those. Another like volume automation. You can make it louder. If you make this max down, you want to go louder, you can do that. Um but it might kill your ears. But yeah. Um this is wait, hold on, let me take out the pitch. This is basically I think this is basically just like a slide. It makes the notes slide. So if you like play 2 notes at once, I need a freaking so if I play 2 notes like that, you can hear like the little like the slide. You can kind of hear like a little slide. It's portamento, which is just like the sliding of the note. So if you want to slide of the note, and yeah, that's really cool. I reckon if you're going for more realistic sounding stuff, like or like you're doing leads and you want to like make it sound more like realistic kinda, you would use that. I think it's super sick. The time, all of this. Oh wait, hold on. What the frick? All of this is just the actual timing. So, yeah, this is basically just this, but you can tweak it on here. Yeah, you can see it kind of just changes the release. Swing is just how much like it's gonna move, how much it's gonna stay true to your notes. So if I play like, it's just gonna play how true to those three notes it's gonna, how like swing, it's gonna be how close to how quantized I put it. So if I, yeah, it's just how close it is. Shift is just, it moves it. So hypothetically, if I put this down and I don't put shift on it, it's basically just how far off it like moves it. That's basically what it is. It's like it's more slight. It's not as on tempo, like on grid. But like you do that if you still want to place everything on the I don't even know what this is called, on the playlist, like on grid, but you want it to like be swung without having to move it. That's basically what it does. And all of these settings, just basically another one of these. All of these, it's just another one of those. Yeah. I don't even really know what this is. I have never used it, to be honest. But if just reading it, it's just probably just another delay. Tweak with it if you want to. I'm sure you could probably get something cool out of it. I've never used it personally, but try using it. Yeah. This is an arpeggiator. So if I play one note, you're gonna hear like, and I have all these options of chords that I can do. So if I want it to play in the key of E major, I'm just gonna freaking fix all of these because it's starting to sound terrible. I want to make it sound at least like decent, so you guys kind of get it.
I never knew that, the arpeggiator thing.
Yeah, it gets super freaking loud, and you can tweak it. So this one just keeps it going up for like a really long time. I think that one does the same. I think this one, I don't even really know the difference between them. Both the same thing. They go up for a certain amount of. Yeah, they go up for a certain amount of time. Oh, I see the difference. So one keeps the adds an extra note, and the other one doesn't add an extra note. Yeah, okay. There's like an extra pause in between. This one just goes down, and this one just goes up. And then this time knob just changes like, and then gate is just the release as well. And the slide just is like this, the portamento. It just makes it sound like an alarm, kinda. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on 3x oscillator. I don't really use it that much, but I hope like that helped. What else would you guys like to learn about? With like another plugin one, or like a compressor, like a reverb? What do you guys want to know? Compression limiters.
Limiters and compressors are
Basically the same thing.
kind of similar.
Yeah, they're basically.
Yeah, they're similar.
Okay, we'll do compressors first. We'll do compressors first, and then we'll do EQs.
Nah, do the EQ.
Do the EQ?
Do the EQ first.
Okay, sure
Yeah,
thing.
because it's more basic.
Okay, sure. It's more basic. Sure. I'm gonna just find a freaking sample, and then we're gonna Why all these like stuff trash? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna put this down. Put this down. I'm gonna put a MIDI down. Okay. So EQs, very cool thing. Probably like EQs are awesome. They're cool. This is super freaking cool. Basically, how I think of EQs is, so we have these different knobs. And they target different frequencies, as you can see at the top here. So we have the sub frequency, bass frequency, low mid, high mid, presence, and treble. Presence is basically just, I feel like I'd say it's just the overall of these. It's like the overall. You'll see in certain plugins that, like, instead of saying highs or like treble, they'll say like presence. And I think it's just that overall high bit. That's what I think it is. So yeah, we have these different knobs. And these little buttons at the bottom can tweak it, kind of like if we just move it as well. And the one below, the one that says like BW, it's basic, like the bandwidth. It's basically makes it as smaller, so you can target certain frequencies. So if I were to play this this melody, you can kind of hear it's targeting. Yeah.
Yeah, you can scroll with your middle mouse button.
Oh yeah,
And
you
then,
can do it with your middle mouse button too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I actually never knew that. That's crazy. Yeah, you can do that. That's way better, to be honest. Yeah. So, you got all these different frequencies and stuff, and so hypothetically, say this piano doesn't have enough highs in it, in my opinion. So if I wanted to make it fill up that space, I would move it up until, like, I think it sounds better in the mix, or how I want it. But if I think it has too much, I can take it, get rid of it. I can tweak how much it's gonna be got rid of, like that. Yeah. And then the same for the lower ones. Just do that. Essentially, you wanna keep like these side ones, like the way I see it, you don't wanna like move this third one and the fourth one over up there. You wanna kind of keep it within the region that it's already placed. So you wanna, like, if you're targeting a certain frequency that's like where this one was placed, you would like use this one to target that frequency. And then if say you don't like that frequency, you put it down, like it's bugging you. And yeah, you want to kind of just keep these different peaks at like their designated point, because if you start moving it around, yeah, and if you like the frequency, you can move it up. You don't think it's there enough, you can move it back up. But like you kind of want to, yeah, just keep it in that position. Don't do that, because it looks really weird. It looks like really weird. Like if I open up a project file and like all the EQ is like mixed up, it looks so weird. Like you see this one, it's like already targeting that lower frequency, and you move it and like it just looks bad, in my opinion. I think it looks really confusing. So you want to keep those EQs to like their respective sides. The general rule of EQ is with like sounds that are more like melodic, like a piano, you wanna kind of like move. Actually, I shouldn't use presets for these ones. I'll just stick to normal. There's also like presets. I usually use those, but I'm gonna give like a basic rundown. So the general rule is you don't want like these melodic ones to have like more bass, because that's gonna like clash with your kick, and if you have a bass line put down, it's gonna clash, and so it's gonna just sound really muddy in the mix, and it's not gonna sound like really that good. So like if I were to show you, say I put down a bass, just gonna copy these notes. So if I don't have this EQ, you can kind of hear that like kind of like fighting for that space. You can see on the waveform as well, it's kind of fighting for the space. And then if I put the bass one onto a track, you can see that's all the frequencies that the bass takes, and it's gonna be like competing with this sound as well for that area. So the general rule is you kind of want to get rid of that if it's for a sound that shouldn't have that low end. It's generally melodic sounds like a piano, like a guitar. Yeah. I think you don't want to get rid of too much, because if you start to get rid of too much, it just kind of ruins it. So you kind of just want to cut it off at like around this spot on your melodic elements. But it could be different. You could have a sound that you don't want to go that low, and like you don't want it to go that high, and you want to keep some of that bass. It's really up to how you want to do it, but the general rule is with EQ is you want to make sure that sounds aren't competing for space. So you want to have each designated sound have a place in the overall mix. So like if I show you, this is like the general one, and so yeah, you can see this is the bass and the piano playing together. Yeah. Mixing is
music
very
like making. Go on.
Yeah, mixing is super subjective. Like it's really up to taste, but there's a few general rules you wanna stick to, and you kind of just want to make sure every sound sounds equal to each other, like they complement each other, and like they don't fight for that space. Because
If
then
you want to get a clean mix, then because like every sound occupies space on the frequency spectrum, and you gotta like make sure that you're giving everything enough space to be heard.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's basically the general rule of mixing. I don't really know about all these other knobs. I don't really mess with, like, tweak with them. That's really up to you. I don't know what they do, to be honest. If anyone, yeah, you go.
It's like, I don't know them either, but like, I think it's more related to like, linear EQing and phasing and all of that.
Yeah.
Some of it's just visual stuff.
What do you do when you have two elements in the same range but want both of them to be heard? Well, you can still have two sounds in the same range, but you need to make sure that they don't fight each other. Yeah, that they're leveled and they don't fight each other. Like, say I have a basketball, right? And I wanna my friend wants the basketball. But we're both playing the same area. I have to make sure that I'm open enough to pass him the ball, and that he's also open to pass the ball, like to receive the ball. So you kind of have to play as one, together. So you can have two sounds in the same range, but you kind of you don't want them to fight over who has the ball, right? Like, or who's getting the ball, who isn't gonna get the ball, you know. So you kind of just want to make sure that they're both complementing each other and not fighting for that space. If you get that. Yeah. Mixing is subjective, but also like it's probably better to learn how to make a clean mix first and know your plugins before you try to do more weirder stuff. So that's true. Yeah. Try when how I started, when like I did like mixing and stuff. It was really just like You tweak, you start off really simple, because when you start off really crazy, it can be really overwhelming, and it can be like a huge turn off from wanting to even like mix or make music like that. So you kind of want to start off simple with your mixing. Even if it's not perfect, you'll eventually get like the basis on like how like everything is. Like TSK just left. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you just want the basis to be that like you want to get it how you sound. And that's basically what EQing helps with mixing. It just lets you tweak certain frequencies, boost frequencies, get rid of frequencies, and it just gives you more freedom on how you want your stuff to sound. It's yeah. Um, that's basically it for EQ. Um, just like a lot of music is just, and I'm sure like a quarter, like Merp Around, they've all said it before, that like everything, and like I think you guys have said it too, everything is just like you mess around a lot. You don't, it's not like this straightforward thing. You kind of just mess around a lot. It's not meant to it's not meant to be like this like straightforward like kind of thing, because music is so open and free. Like you just mess around a lot, and you find what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, you know. So it's really just something that you try for yourself, and sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, you know. But as long as you like, as you're learning, as you get what you're trying to achieve, like, and you keep pushing on, all of that stuff starts to come like really simple. And I'm in a weird stage where I spend 5 hours mixing a project just a bit and never. Yeah, no, that's totally like valid. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think it's kind of just, yeah. Sometimes sometimes guys, less is more. Less 100% is more sometimes. Sometimes the best music in the world is the ones that is just super simple, straightforward. Sometimes less is more. So you don't need to be spending like 5 hours mixing something so like crazily. Sometimes just like something simple. Yeah. Yeah, if you add way too much processing, then you might do worse. 100%. Less is more, guys. That's my advice. Less is 100% more. Um, yeah. Don't try and always do too much, because it takes away from from everything else. So yeah. Sometimes you spend like 20 minutes on it. So. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
All right, I'm back.
What's up, TSK?
Hello.
Hello. E-fatigue can affect how you mix a lot. That's so true. That's very true. Make sure,
Uh,
make sure to like, when you're working on a song as well, make sure to give yourself enough breaks from the song as possible, because the more you listen to it, the more you'll start to hate it. Like, it's just how it is. Like, you'll start off
yeah.
making something like, dude, this is amazing, and then like maybe like an hour later, you'll be like, dude, this sucks. And then like if you take a break, let it like let it marinate. Sometimes you come back and you're like, dude, this is awesome, and you get more inspired. And yeah, so 100% take breaks.
Also, like if you're mixing or like leveling sounds, always try to like do it on like a low volume, because that makes it like it's better to mix on a low volume. That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah,
heard that
100%.
before.
Because high frequencies like make everything louder. Like the higher
That's
frequencies
true.
make everything sound way louder than they actually are. So as well, when you're mixing, make sure you're not like cranking it up super loud all the time. Like make sure to turn the volume down so you can get like a more accurate listen on how sounds sound. Because the louder your speakers go, the like the high ends just like freaking take up all that space in speakers. It's like they're like the devil, dude. It's like it's crazy. So yeah, low volumes definitely help with getting a more accurate sounding mix. Make sure not to like crank up the volume all the time. Yeah. Switching back and forth between two pairs of headphones. Yeah, that's true. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think using a good reference track that is similar to your song. Yeah, 100%. Definitely, definitely. And then this is something I like to do as well. Is I have this plugin called Place It. So it's kind of like it's free, and I mean if you want to get it you can, but basically it like emulates the sound of what like the song you're making. So I'm just gonna get a MP3. Can I use our song, TSK?
What?
Can
Which
I'm
one?
the new one, the new one that we're working on.
Sure.
Okay, so so
Hmm.
yeah, so this is, so you can hear in the mix that this plugin kind of makes it sound like it's in a car, and I can tweak it. Yeah, you just kind of, thank you guys. But basically, it just gives you a rough.
I can show you guys a project after the class if you guys wanna,
Yeah,
like, after we're done. I'll show you guys the project.
yeah. So
Mm.
basically, it gives like a rough sound of what that your song will sound like in different environments. So this is how it sounds in a car. This is how it sounds like in the phone on your ear. You know, it gives like a rough sound on how it's gonna sound on different devices. It's not the best,
Also, this,
but
wait,
like,
let me just say this. I have like I do this weird thing. Um, I what I do is like I put a reverb on the master and I listen to the song with the reverb on the master, and it's like it makes me think of how it would sound live if I'm playing it out live,
yeah,
and it
yeah, yeah.
really
That's so
helps.
true. That's so true. Yeah,
It's really cool.
yeah. Different environments. Yeah, just open up your ears to different like multiple different like sound systems. There's so many like ways you can get your like song to sound different on different devices, and like it's not gonna be completely accurate, because say I export this song and I pull it up on my phone, and then it was nothing like how like the plugin said it would sound like on the phone, but it's just a rough idea, and if it sounds good on a certain rough idea, then that's the good basis. Like that's where you know it's heading, and it's like that's how you want it to sound on that device. That's kind of like the basis that you want to like get into, you know. So yeah. So 100%. That's some advice that I, in my experience, at least making stuff that works well with headphones plus phone speakers is good enough for me. I don't. Yeah, 100%, 100%. The main one is just make like if you want to make sure your song sounds good on headphones, on your phone speakers. If you have like if you're gonna go on a drive and you have a car, like just like before like you take off, just like play the song like quickly on your car. You know, because I feel like most people will probably listen to your song on the car as well. So you'll probably just want to make sure that it sounds like good on like those ones. Like the main ones is headphones, on the phone speakers, because people listen to it on speakers as well, and then in the car. So you want to make sure that everything sounds good on those three. You don't need to be super intricate. You don't need to have like rockets and stuff. You don't need to have like all those crazy like sound systems. It's just like, yeah, if it sounds good on like at least two devices, it will probably sound good on most devices. That's my 2 cents. It's probably wrong, but that's just how I've experienced it, like in my opinion. Um, break into someone's car and play your new upcoming song on the speakers. Yep, 100%. That's the way to go. So yeah. EQ, basically rundown EQ, just helps cut sounds, boost sounds, all that. It's quite simple. Um, yeah, very cool plugin. Like, you don't even need to get like the crazy EQ plugins like ProQ and all that. I'm not gonna lie, like Fruity Parametric is like goated. Like, it's actually like it's my go-to. I have ProQ and like I don't even use it. Like literally. So yeah. There's all the like this topic that we're doing on stock plugins. Like honestly, a lot of stock plugins are way better than the paid ones. What's the biggest difference with ProQ? ProQ is just more advanced. It's just more advanced.
It's more advanced, and you get like unlimited knobs basically, or like
Yeah.
unlimited like notches or whatever. You
Yeah.
can make infinite
Yeah, it's
basically.
like it's way more advanced than parametric.
Carbine's here.
Carbine's in here. Yo, Carbine, join the speaker, bro. Join as a speaker. You can help.
Oh,
Oh, Carbine.
Good morning, fellow audience.
Let's
Good morning,
go.
Scorpio.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, TSK. I hope you're all learning a
hello.
valuable lesson today. If not, you need to pay attention because these are some of the best teachers I've ever known.
Facts.
Some of the best students, too.
Real.
Facts.
That's so true. So yeah. ProQ is just an advanced, super advanced EQ. I personally don't really use it that much because I'm happy with like parametric EQ. So yeah, but ProQ is amazing, and if you have it and you want to like use it, then go ahead, use it. It's great. But yeah, a lot of stock plugins, like I'm sure for like Ableton users, I know this is FL, but like Carbines are Ableton users. I'm sure for Ableton as well, it's like it's got a ton of cool like stock plugins. Stock plugins is just like it may be a turn off because it's like it's like the basic stuff that you have.
Oh, I don't want your sneaky stock plugins.
Yeah.
And then the chat comes in. Stock plugins are the best.
Yeah, no, literally. Stock plugins are awesome. Like if you have a stock plugin and and it does the job, then there's no need to get like a paid one unless you just want to get more advanced, you know what I mean? But if you just want like the basic, you don't need to get like all the really expensive ones. So yeah. Oh yeah, and ProQ, like that screenshot that Maze just sent, there's this button that just lets you hear the frequency that you're taking down. It's very cool. It's very cool. I don't think yeah, I think it's one of the only plugins that like EQ plugins that have that feature. I could be wrong, but I've only seen it in ProQ and it's like really cool. So but yeah. That's basically the rundown on EQs. Just make sure EQ is just make sure all of your frequencies and sounds sound good together. You know, don't want to clash with each other.
Have you guys gone over reverbs yet?
I don't think they have. Cause I remember we got a lot of questions on like convolution reverbs and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah. So Do you guys want to go over reverbs or compressors and limiters first? Compressors? Okay, cool. All right, all right, all right. Compressors. Okay, so the only like dare I say compressor I use is OTT, which is free. But I'll give a basic rundown on the fruity compressor. So TSK is the compressor wizard, so he'll probably be able to help me with this. I don't really know much about it. I just know basically what a compressor, how I interpret a compressor is basically it makes a sound louder and like more like it scrunches the sound itself, but without making it clip or peak, if that makes sense. It basically boosts the frequencies without destroying the mix. That's how I interpret it personally. Um, so we have like all these different buttons. TSK, do you have a better explanation?
Um, I'm not really good at compressors, but I think so when a sound plays, it has like a transient, and what the compressor does is if you turn the threshold down, it like basically just compresses the transient of the sound. And then um the ratio is like how aggressively it compresses the sound. Like um and the gain is basically how loud you want the sound to be after it's compressed.
Yep, definitely. That's kind of how I see it too. Um,
It's quite simple. It's just basically what the name says is just compresses the sound.
yeah,
That like yeah.
yeah. It splits the audio into multiple frequencies and
I can
compress.
show it like I can show it on my FL
Yeah,
like what it
yeah,
does.
yeah. Open up your FL if you can.
Okay. Quality good.
Yeah, should be good.
Okay. Um again. Let's say I have this gig. Um what I can do is if I put a compressor on it, the threshold, if I turn it down, it's gonna make the sound like quieter. Or like I guess not. But if you turn the ratio up, then it's gonna make the sound quieter. Um because that's basically the okay wait, let me get a better compressor. One sec. Okay, so here you can actually see it. Um so the if I put the like that's basically how aggressively it's compressing the sound. And this is like the threshold is where the volume is like cutting off basically. So that's the kick. So if I make the mix 0, you can see the kick has that like loudness thing. So it's loud and then it gets quiet.
Yep,
But if I turn the mix up, you can see like compresses it where like the loud points and the quiet points are like at a very similar level. The attack and release is basically how fast the limiter or how slow the limiter releases and how fast the limiter acts upon the frequencies. Um, the ratio is again how like aggressively compresses it. So if I have it like this and then I turn the gain up, that's the wet gain, basically the gain like the sound that's coming out of the compressor. If I turn it up, you can see that like if I if I um the sound sounds like oh wait, you can see how like the sound has like a more uniform level after I compress it. Whereas in this, the like the transient is like loud and then quiet, if that makes sense. So compressor basically just tries to level the sound. You can use it in like super cool ways. Limiter does that as well. I think limiter is basically just a compressor with like infinite release or something. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, they're quite similar. That's what I know. Yeah, something like that. Infinite ratio.
Yep.
Well, so yeah, that's basically what a compressor is.
And yeah, a limiter, basically the same thing, except without all that. It basically just limits the sound, so it cuts off completely, like a different, like at a certain frequency that you can peak. Like you can pick a different certain frequency. It completely slices that like the rest off, like from that frequency. That's my 2 cents on a limiter. Yeah. I personally don't really like using limiters because there's certain like frequencies that I like that I yeah. So yeah, I personally don't use limiters, but it's a great tool. It's a great tool to use. I just don't really use them like that. Have you ever EQ'd before compression? Yeah. I don't think that's... I think you can get away with it. I think it's how you're compressing, or how you're gonna EQ actually, because if say I EQ, because okay, so a compressor will essentially kind of bring back, so say I take out some low end out of my sound, a compressor can sometimes bring it back, if that makes sense. I think that's how, at least in my experience, that's how it sometimes
That's
happens.
what will happen if you use a multi-band compressor,
Okay, yeah.
I think.
So like yeah, because like all I use is OTT, so yeah, OTT brings back all that's like EQ. So essentially you want to use an EQ after, but you could probably get away with using it before. Yeah, and soft clippers are just kind similar to limiters. They kind of just
They basically cut the sound
yeah,
off,
yeah.
rather rather than it makes
Yeah,
a clip basically,
yeah,
as the name says,
yeah,
rather than so if I have this sound that's like super loud, okay,
yeah.
let me use the stock plugin. Okay, you can see how like it's like kind of ducking the sound, but like if I use like a clipper, let me use like the stock one.
Yeah, I got clipper and limiter mixed up. That's basically what I meant to say when I was talking about a limiter. Yeah.
So that like makes the sound like clip basically, but this makes it. I always use it's like a stylistic choice, but I always use a soft clipper.
Yeah, I was.
Usually I use a soft clipper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
I think it just helps keep the sound, cause okay, hypothetically if you go back to my stream, if I do like a drum beat, if I just find some random ass like drum beat, so this one. So, and instead, if I put a limiter on, the kick kind of like is turned down, but if I pull up the volume as well, it's like, you know, it kind of just makes sure that it stays at that volume. But with a clipper, if I put a soft clipper on, you can hear that the kick is like pumping. It's completely pumping it, but the track itself is not peaking. But now the kick is pumping. And then if we use a limiter again, we do the same thing. Same mix. Everything's cranked up. Everything's cranked up, you see? Very loud, but that's basically the difference. It makes everything kind of distorted in a way.
So I always start off the song with like a soft clipper on the master.
Yeah.
Because if you're mixing it, and if you like decide to use a limiter, you're gonna have to like use a completely different mix for the song if you're gonna use a limiter versus a soft clipper.
Yeah.
So
This is how it sounds with the soft clipper. And this is how it sounds with the limiter. Everything's cranked up to the, like, you can see the volumes. Yeah. So you kind of get a difference of the sound. It's really up to your personal taste. If you don't like that like distorted crunch when you boost sounds, then probably use a limiter. But if you want that sound, then yeah, soft clip is the way. Do you guys mix master in the same project? Yep. %. I think the only way you would render it out is if your computer cannot handle mixing it anymore, like your CPU just is like killing itself, or if you're, say, hypothetically gonna send it off to an engineer. That's the only way it would make sense. Or you're receiving file like stems. That's the only way you do it in a different one. But essentially, it's like why you would want to do it on the same plugin, on the same project, because that way it's just so much simpler. It's just so much simpler. You can tweak it on the project file itself. It's just a lot simpler. So it seems like older producers tend to do that. I think it's just the thing that they do, because I think a lot of like rock guys, I think they use Pro Tools to like mix, which is like the industry standard or something. I don't know. I've seen a bunch of them use like Pro Tools. So I think it's just because they want to export it out and use it on a different DAW. I don't think it's more like just for the sake of doing it. I think it's because they want to export it out and do it on a different DAW. That's what I think it is. Like say, because if I want to record my song on FL, but I like the plugins on like Pro Tools or Ableton more, I'll mix it on those ones instead, you know. But like FL is just so much easier for me to record, you know. That's what I think it is. But there's also ways you can see people like use it on still on FL, and it would just be what I'm assuming is it's just there's too much space taken up in the song and it's like become messy and all that, and the CPU cannot handle it, so they export it out as stems and they mix it on a new project. Or I don't know, maybe they just like doing it that way. But I feel like if it's better to do it on the actual project file than do it on not the project file. It's just a lot simpler. But it's really up to how you want to do it. It like if it works better for you, if you export it, then do that. It's really up to taste, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically limiters and compressors. What else? Do you guys want to learn about reverbs? Sidechaining? Okay, cool. Sidechaining, cool. Sidechaining is my stuff, so I can totally help you guys with that. That's my thing. So there's multiple different ways you can sidechain. Yeah, there's multiple different ways you can sidechain. Personally, how I like to sidechain is with Fruity Limiter, because I don't know, it's just what I use. But there's so many different ways you can sidechain. Me and TK will go over those because we're sidechain wizards. We know all about sidechaining. But I'll go over the way I do it first because it's just what I'm used to, and maybe it's just the way that for some of you it may work. So hypothetically I have this like melodic sound that I want to use, and then but I want to make a drum beat out of it, so I'm just gonna pick some random sounds. It doesn't matter if it sounds good, but and then so yeah, we're gonna just loop that. So I would assign the kick to a track. I'm gonna add a soft clipper back. And with Fruity Limiter, what I would do is, so there's different options. So you see on the mix, there's like this thing at the bottom here. There's like all these different knobs at the bottom here. So you wanna click it on the mixer track that it's on, and then you want to go back to limiter, and this compressor one, you want to move that sidechain to the spot that like so it's on mixer 1, so it's going to be sidechain to mixer 1. And so now the sound is going to duck. You can tweak it. You can kind of hear it. You just kind of tweak it to how you want it. Just mess around with the knobs until you get a sound that you like. If you like that like super, like, you know, or if you want it to be more like less noticeable. Yeah, that's how I do sidechaining. It's just the way that works for me. For every person it might be different, so but everything, like every way to sidechain is just, if it works, it works, you know. There's no need to do it. And sidechain is essential in my opinion. I think it's an essential thing to be doing on almost every sound, in my opinion. On every sound minus the kick, I think it's an essential thing to be doing, because it just it frees up all that space in the mix for the kick to hit through. And essentially you want the kick to be like the driving force. It's your rhythm, so you kind of want to make sure that like nothing's clashing with the kick. And you want to basically put a limiter, not a limiter, something, whatever you use to sidechain, you want to put it on like everything that isn't the kick. In my opinion, it's just give space for that kick. And then I feel like sidechaining is good on most EDM, but it feels weird when I use. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I think I would still sidechain. I mean, it's really up to you, but I would still sidechain. Like when I plug in my interface and I make like a guitar thing, I still sidechain, because like but it's probably not as noticeable. It's probably not as noticeable because you don't want it. And I think you can, if you listen closely to like rock songs, yeah, make it way less noticeable, because it's just gonna free up that space still. Basically, sidechaining is you're gonna sidechain even on high end frequencies. You use sidechain. Um, well, if it's a melodic element, yes. If it's I should probably rephrase what I said. So I don't sidechain it on like percussive elements really, because percussive elements are all like its own thing, kinda, if that makes sense. Like, and the drums fall in, like the kick falls into that space. So you wouldn't want to sidechain your kick to your snare, if that makes sense, because it would just be weird. It would kind of get rid of the snare. So say I have like a 4 on the floor beat, like, you know, like, and then I put like a clap, and then I sidechain it. It kind of doesn't hit, you know, it doesn't hit anymore. In my opinion, it's like, I feel like it doesn't hit, in my opinion, than if I just left it as that. But it's really up to how you wanna, how you want it. If you want to sidechain your drums, then that's totally fine. But I personally think that the usual setup is kick makes the bass quieter. No, it's not to when you're sidechaining a kick to the bass, it's not to make the bass quieter. It's to free up that space held by, because okay, so with the bass and a kick, they both take up the same frequency. They both take up that same low end frequency that I was going over before. Like this low end bit here, they both compete for that spot. So when you sidechain a kick and a bass, you kind of want to make sure that they're not like fighting each other. So let me just get the bass that I did earlier. Let me just get this. So if I copy this down, so you kind of hear there's like, they're kind of competing for that spot, and it just doesn't hit because they're both like just competing in that same spot. So what a sidechain does is it doesn't make it quieter. It just gives the kick room to breathe in that space that the bass is hitting in, you know. And I think sidechain just has a nice sound to it. Like, I like the ducking sound personally. I think it just sounds really nice. It sounds like it was meant to happen, you know. But it's really up to taste. It's really up to taste on what you make. But I think sidechain is a crucial thing to be doing on no matter what genre you make. I think it's a crucial thing. Sometimes you want to, like, for different genres, you want to make it less noticeable, you know. You want to make it, for like rock, you wouldn't want to like a EDM sidechain, you know, because it would be super noticeable and it would sound like super weird. So you would make it less noticeable and like, yeah, you would make it. But I think it's still essential because by technicality, even if you don't hear a difference, by technicality, it's just clearing up that space. So your mix just sounds a lot nicer, you know? So I think it's just an essential thing to be doing on almost every kind of like melodic element. So yeah, I think it's very crucial to be doing sidechain. I think it's awesome. But there's different ways. No, it's all good. It's all good. Ask away. But other than kick and bass, how would you use it? Okay. Like you said, on other melodic elements. So I would say if I bring back that piano that I did earlier. I would use it on the piano. You know, I would use it on piano. I would use it on it depends. I would use it on vocals, But sometimes you don't want to make it as noticeable on vocals because vocals are a driving element of the song as well. So I don't know if you would really wanna really tweak with it that much, but I would still put it on vocals to duck um the other melodic elements in the same frequency range. Not really. I'm just thinking more so on like I'm thinking more so on like the low end spectrum. I think that side chaining on like vocals and stuff is like a crucial because it helps the rhythm section like just sound a lot better, you know. With melodic elements, like I don't think you should side chain. I mean, you can, and I've seen people do it and it's worked well, but I don't think you should like side chain like a guitar to vocals, because essentially what you'd be doing is just say you have guitar playing the whole time and vocals come in at certain points. The guitar will cut off when the vocals come in, and it'll like duck underneath and it'll sound super weird, you know what I mean? But I mean, you can do it that way, but it's just I actually no, yeah, you can totally do it on other melodic elements. Was that to duck the bass? Kinda. I think the way I do it though, I think I like just the sidechain sound. So like I would put it on everything because I just like that sound, and also because I think with my music personally, I like it when like the kick is like, and the rhythm section is like hitting, you know what I mean? When like you can hear the like the rhythm section like really clearly, and like the kick is like bass of like it's the bass element of like every song, well, most songs. So I would just put it on that, so like the kick is always hitting, but you don't need to do it that way. It's really up to taste. Side chaining is making my yeah because especially with like shoegaze, and like I feel like especially with the bass there as well, there's gonna be certain frequencies and that is gonna like take away from that kick. So, and I feel like the kick should be the main element, because like whenever you hear a song, especially when it's live, like the kick just is always hitting. Like you can follow the rhythm. The kick is the main element, you know. It's like you can follow the rhythm, you can do everything to it. So the kick has got to like hit. The rhythm section has got to hit, you know. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. It's really up to what you make and how you want to make it, but I think side chaining is super crucial in almost every genre, because it's just, it frees up space for frequencies. So I mean, if you want to side chain your guitar to your vocals so it ducks underneath the vocals, you can do that, but I personally don't do that. But it's really up to taste. So like I said before, you got to just experiment. And yeah, and if you listen closely to a lot of songs, you'll like hear different elements. So like if I pull up just like, I'm just gonna use the song that me and TSK made again for reference. You can like hear the side chain. Like if you listen very, very closely, like, and you focus on hearing the duck underneath, you can kind of like just hear it. Wait, whoa, hold on, let me. I don't know. It's, well, we're making it to hopefully get on there. We're not too sure. We just titled it that because it reminded us of Exobolt. Yeah. It's not the actual name. It's just we titled it that because that's what we were kind of going for, that kind of sound. But I'd hope so. Yeah. Yeah. if you just like go listen to any kind of song that you want to like, any song that you get inspired by or like that you like, you could probably just, if you listen close enough, you can probably hear sidechain being done, you know. I think it's a crucial thing, and I've never seen an engineer who has never like used sidechaining on most things, you know. But it's really up to taste, you know. It's everyone's different. Everyone messes with their mix differently, you know. It's always up to taste. So experiment, always experiment. Don't be afraid of experimentation, you know. That's that's the way to go. You'll never know. Yeah, flying fish is awesome. Yeah, does boost. Yep. He probably uses sidechain as well on most elements as well. So
Huh?
hi, we just went over
No.
sidechaining. Well, I mean, we're still going over sidechaining.
Side chaining. Awesome.
Um,
Which method?
I was showing them the limiter method,
Okay.
but I don't know how to do the rest. I know there's a way to do it on kickstart. I know there's a way you can do it on balance. I don't know how to do those, but
Free limiter
I can
is
sh-
good.
yeah. Can you show?
I can show fruity balance.
Yeah, do that.
One sec.
But yeah, I was basically saying how like sidechaining is super crucial in like almost every type of genre. Like it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's a super crucial element that you want to use it on most sounds. Um,
Bro. Is my stream fine?
yeah.
I'm lagging so hard. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright. Um,
Well, I'll be gone again, guys. I'm still busy.
It's okay.
alright.
I'll have the movie now. Bye bye. Okay.
Bye. Okay, so in
Yeah, it's the Soldier Boy.
So let's just say we have a kick and this fucking whatever this is. And then we got a sidechain, right? So the best way, like, so you assign this to a mixer track, whatever you want the thing sidechain, like the thing you want sidechain on, you assign it to mixer track, then you put fruity balance on it. And what this basically is basically it's just volume. So um so we select um this area, the sidechain area, and then you can do this by like right clicking, by the way, and you right click drag, and then you right click on this volume knob, then you click on create automation clip, and that makes a clip for automating the volume. And so you make it start like at the bottom, because or like you can make it start in the middle, like it depends on how aggressive you want the sidechain to be, and then you can like drag this back to where the kick ends, and so and you can make this like how aggressive you want the sidechain to be. So if I have it like this, it's slightly less aggressive. But if I have it like this, it's super aggressive. So like this, the in so by using sidechain, like the kick also hits, and you can hear the sound, like the other sound as well. Yeah, it's kind of like a manual sidechain. Um, but it's honestly, I didn't use this much before. Like I haven't used this a lot, like the fruity balance method, but it's really good. I think it's better than limiter, in my opinion, because there's more control. Like you can You can make the shape different. Like you can make it like a double curve. Mm, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically just yeah, it's just have to be willing to like have to copy paste every time, you know. Just having to like copy paste every time. If you're cool with that and that works for you, then like, you know, 100% do it that way. Um yeah. Um
Yeah,
what other ways can you sidechain? You can sidechain just volume. So
yeah, that's basically the same
it's
thing.
basically the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a way you can do it in Kickstart, but it's not a stock plugin, so we won't go over it. You can do it in LFO tool as well, but I don't think that's stock either. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's P
LFO
control.
tool.
There's P controller.
Yeah.
I
Heat
forgot
controller.
how to do it on P controller. I'm not gonna lie. It's like
Same.
there's like a setting that you put in somewhere. I used to do it. I completely forgot. Um, but essentially, it's just like limiter. It's like using limiter essentially.
It's like limiter, but with more control.
Yeah, it's limiter with more control. So yeah. Um, I don't know how to do it. There's probably a tutorial out there for it. I've never done it though. I mean I used to, but I haven't done it in so long. Like I forgot. I'd hope he does.
Yeah.
I'd hope Rick Rubin would know about sidechaining. I'd hope he would.
Bro.
Bro
Yeah.
automates his like on the mixer track. We just map it to a volume control. Set the formula to inverse. Yeah, I think it's something like that. I remember it having to switch to inverse. It's definitely something like that. I don't know how to do it. Anti, do you know how to do it? Because I have no clue. Right click.
How the frick do you use the P controller, bro?
Oh yeah, there's a button link to controller. Oh yeah, I see it.
What?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, cool. I got it. I've got it. I've got it. So you right click on the volume one and link to control. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And you have to set it to invest. Wait, where?
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's also that method. Basically just like limiter. You get more control there.
that's so complicated, bro.
Yeah.
But the good thing about the P controller is that you don't have to like put in automation everywhere the kick
Yeah.
plays.
And it's more
It just
advanced
does that
than
automatically.
a
Yeah.
limiter, so
It's
yeah.
like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. But it's super complicated to get to that point if you don't know what you're doing.
Facts.
Yeah. Sidechaining is yeah, that's basically the rundown. You can pick how you want to sidechain. But I think sidechaining is a super crucial thing and 100% you guys should be doing it on most sounds, you know. Whether it be even just the slightest bit, you know, yeah. OTT, sure thing, we can go over OTT. This is like my favorite plugin. Like, okay, I don't know about favorite, but I use it on everything. I use it like on everything. So okay. Okay, my stream might get like weird. because OTT is super weird. Okay. Can you all see the OTT?
Yes. You're
Yeah.
looking at the wrong screen. Wait, let me stop streaming.
No, I'm looking at my. What?
Oh, I was not talking about you. I
Oh.
was talking about me. Please.
Oh. Okay. Cool. So this is with and without. So it compresses the sound, makes it sound super compressed. I personally just like the compressor sound. There's these different knobs, low end, high end. You can tweak. If I don't want my compressor to have that low end, then I would take out the low end. If I don't want it to have the mid end, I would take out that mid end. If I don't want it to have the high end, I'd take out that high end. You can tweak it how, like, on the thing. Click on it, hold it. The depth is just how compressed it's gonna be. Like how scrunched the effects, like the frequencies will sound. You know. Do you know what the time knob does? I don't know. I don't know what it does, to be honest. I would assume that it's just changing the length of time knob is reverb. I think. Okay, cool. That works. That's cool. I don't. I have no clue what it is. How long it stays. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's sick. Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. This is just the gain. So if the gain is super low, so you know, that's just like the volume, how much is going into the mix. The output gain is like how loud it's gonna get. You can see the waveform, it's like peaking. That's how loud it's gonna get. So the input is just what's going in, and the output is what's gonna be going out, basically. How loud it's going. This is how loud it's gonna be going in, and this is how loud it's gonna be going out of the plugin. Yeah. That's. Yeah, you cannot use the. You cannot use this thing over here because it. Actually, no, you can kinda, but it's like super weird. Yeah, it does introduce weird artifacting. Yeah, it's better just to tweak it on here than on. Yeah, 100%. This is just. I think the frequencies. I'm not too sure. Do you know what they are, TSK? What the downward and upward is? Oh, he's gone. Damn it. I mean I know what they do, but I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. You can kind of just hear the difference. I think it's just for the frequencies. Like this is the high end, and this is the low end. I think that's what it is, from what I can tell.
Someone like Zave or Carbine could probably show better what you.
Yeah.
Multi-band compression is.
Yeah. We'll do another lesson on like more intricate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Zave and Carbine, they'll go over that because they're the sound design wizards. We should be over soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna go over one final set of stock plugins. We're gonna go over reverb and delays, and like the chorus and the flanges and all that. We're gonna, because they're all kind of similar in a way. So we're gonna speed run these. So reverb, just it's like it's like an echo. It makes it like, it's like also kind of like a delay, but instead of the repeated echo, it more like it's like a white noise to an echo. Like imagine if the echo and delay was like a white noise, and instead just like filled all that space, kinda. If I'm being very broad about it, but you can kind of just hear like what I mean. Yeah. So we have the wet knob over here, which is like how much of the reverb is going in. The dry is just how like the normal sound. We went over like limiters, compressors, and like side chaining, EQing. Yeah. This video will be posted there. We'll post what we did, like the whole session. We've got it recording. So whatever you missed, you can just watch the video. Unless you had any questions. Yeah, so reverb, this is the wet, how much reverb is like coming out, and then the dry is just the regular sound. The decay is how much like the reverb is actually like, it kind of like how I showed you earlier. It's like the release of the reverb. So if you have a decay ticked out all the way, it's gonna go for a longer period of time. If the decay is lower, it's not gonna go for as long. I think this is just like the bass frequencies. Yeah, I think that's just the bass frequency. I don't know what these two do, but I don't really hear a difference. I mean, slightly, but I don't really know what they do. I don't know. Delay, it's just how delayed the reverb will come into effect. Yeah, so if I play it and then pause it. So look. So if I play the song, and then I paused it, and the delay like the reverb comes in super late, and then if the delay is all the way down here, it comes instantly. It's basically like the offset, like I showed earlier. And you can do it to the tempo, so it follows the tempo of your song, and will come in at like a certain point, like a certain beat. It'll come in. The size is just this, like all these other effects is just like the effects you can do on the waveform. So you can do like, you can have like a room like this, like it's just all these. I personally don't really use these knobs. I more tweak it on the waveform itself. This kind of just bounces it. I feel like reverb sometimes messes with my kick from hitting. Do you reverb various drums in different ways? Yeah. I don't really reverb kicks a lot, because I think a reverb kick removes some of the low end, kinda like the punch, and it kind of messes with side chaining as well, because the side chain will will hit differently. If I do it on like how I do it on limiter, it messes with the sidechain kinda. So yeah, I don't really reverb kicks, but I've seen people do it, like, like Duster. They do it a ton. They reverb the kick sometimes. It's really just the sound that you want. If you can make the kick hit with reverb, then 100% do it. But sometimes a kick without reverb is just better. It's not really common to reverb a kick, you know. Hi-hats,
You can use like small room reverb on kicks,
yeah.
but like not like reverbs with like huge decays, because that'll make it sound muddy.
Yeah, you want to do like a small, like one of these kind of. Yeah, like a really small EQ.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. The ones that are mostly hi-hat, like the that are mixed like with reverb, are like hi-hats, snares and claps and all that. So if I get a hi-hat, this is reverb. Wait, I haven't routed it to a channel. Yeah. You'll see a lot of people reverb hi-hats because it just fills up that space that like the hi-hat brings. Like there's a certain frequency and it kind of just fills up that space. It kind of makes it sound less empty. People reverb hi-hats. You can tweak it how you want to. People do it on snares. I need to find a snare. There's more like a room. Yeah. Claps and all that. Yeah, just you wanna. Yeah, there's different. Usually the common things you would reverb is like the snare and the hi-hat. You wouldn't really reverb the kick, but yeah. Make sure, especially with your rhythm section, like your percussive elements, like your kick, your snare, your hi-hats, you don't want to overkill with the reverb because it can take away from the sound itself. So you kind of just want it to be more subtle on the rhythm section, unless you want it that sound, like you want it's like an intentional like reverb sound, but the general main basis is that you don't want to go overkill with them. Yeah, it's more to like fill up the space, so yeah, that's reverbing. Just use it on stuff, like mess around, use it on stuff that you think sound good on, and if it doesn't, you can just take it out. TSK, do you want to go over delays?
Sure. I'll go over delays. So I just let melody, right? That's what it sounds like. If I use delay on it, so what this basically does is it makes the sound repeat. That's in the simplest of terms, that's what it is. So it's doing it at the rate of 3 steps right now. I can make it 4 steps. It'll be quicker. And if I do it'll be slower. If I do 2 steps, it'll be quicker. here's the so basically the time like controls the space between the um like delayed notes. So yeah, it's basically just delaying the sound. If you can use the ping pong delay, that's a very common delay that's used. Uh, and if you pan it to the right or the left, it'll like make the delay stereo. So so it, like goes in both of your ears. It's super cool. Um, what else? That's the just the volume. That's the volume for the dry. So like if you turn this all the way down, then the original notes will not play, just the delay will play. So but if I have this at the normal volume, it will play the normal notes and the delay. This is the input volume. Or like what is it? Oh, it's the basically the delay volume, I guess. Yeah. And that's the cutoff frequency, so you can make the delay sound like low pass. That's the offset, so it like slightly offsets the time. Um, that's the feedback volume. If you have this all the way up, it's gonna never stop delaying. Or like not never, but like it's gonna go on for a very long time. But yeah, so that's basically what delay is. That's the fruity delay too. You can use delay 3 as well. This is slightly more complex. Not really complex, it just has more control.
Yep. And so that's it for delay. We'll
Yeah.
go very quickly over flanges and chorus and stuff. Because they're all basically the same thing. They both kind of all do the same thing. So if we pop over back to my stream and so a chorus is it's just double, yeah? It's just the thing playing twice. It's just like imagine these two waveforms. Actually, no, I don't think it is. It's something like that. It's something like that, but it's like it gives a different like wet, like watery effect, as you can hear. There's all these different like knobs. All these different type of knobs. So the delay is just how much it's gonna be, like how much of the effect will be happening, like how I think it's how much like it goes by, and like as you can see, like milliseconds, how much it's like doing that effect, like how much it's gonna delay by that effect. You can kind of hear. You can kind of hear a difference. The depth is how much of the effect is going to be happening. stereo is just how stereo the effect will be. These LFOs are just the different frequencies that the effect runs at. This is the different frequencies the effect runs at, these three. So I think this is, I'm not too sure which frequencies they take up, but it's just the different frequencies that the effect happens. Yeah, these are the different like sound waves. Yeah, different sine waves. Cross type. Don't really know what this does, but just mess with it. Yeah, you can get some really cool stuff. These like chorus flanges and phases, they're not like ones that like you really need to know what you're doing. It's a lot of just messing around with these ones, you know. Get cool stuff out of it. So that's a chorus, more like a wet, like kind of sound. A flanger is 90%. It's basically similar. It's double, but one is slightly shifted. I think that's how it works. It's like slightly shifted. Yeah. You kind of hear it. So this is like a swirly. This is like swirly kind of, and it's like, if you can kind of hear it, it's like a weird swirly kind of. Well, with the chorus, it's like a, it's more like a, it's like a wider, wetter kind of sound. Do phases shift the timing? I think it's just playing the same. Also, yeah. You know, you kind of get essentially they're all kind of doing the same thing. It's just the different, it's like slightly different in each. Like they give out different sounds. I don't know exactly what it is they're doing. I just know it's something to do with them playing at the same time, or like slightly shifted, like two of them playing at the same time, kind of like this, but it's like each one is different. I just know like what they sound like. So like phaser is like this metallic swirl. It's like this metallic swirl. Well, with like a chorus, it's like this wet, watery, oceany kind of. It's like this wet, watery, oceany kind of like type of like flanger, and then a phaser is like this. It's like this. It's like another swirly one, but it's not metallic like the flanger. It's more smooth and like, yeah. Yeah. This is a flanger. And then this is like a phaser. Yeah, phasing. Yeah, that's what phasing is. But yeah, they all kind of go hand in hand. They're all very similar. It's just, yeah. They all basically do the same thing. It's just they give out different sound, like outputs. They have a different output to how how each sound. Yeah, it's very confusing. I don't really know like the full definition to each one. I just know how they sound, and I think if you know how the each one sounds, then that's good enough. I don't think. Yeah. But yeah, that's flanges, chorus, and phases going through, and yeah, that's the lesson. That's the lesson, guys. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for coming in. We hope you learned something, and we're always here for questions. Always here for questions if you guys want help.
I'll show the project now.
Um,
Just the lessons over.
yeah. Yeah, just shoot down any questions. We're always here to help. Hope you guys learned something, and sorry if we kind of like yapped a bit. We never really like taught that much. We kind of just but hope you guys learned something. For the people who are watching the video on YouTube, I'm pretty sure
Like, share, and subscribe.
yes please, but I think the Discord link will be in the description, so make sure if you want to learn to join, and yeah, thank you guys.